Deuxluxes magazine, and I'm going to interview les Deuxluxes.
Hey, Jared.
Hello. How are you guys today?
We're good?
Good. And you?
I am good. So, just start off, how did this band get started?
Well, we started playing in the metro. That's what we did. We just like didn't want to get a job when there was the student strike, so we just decided to go and like busk in the metro and stuff. And eventually we like went on stage just by
kind of got thrown on stage. We didn't really plan to be a stage band, but we're happy that it did happen because we did end up finding our niche there, our thing.
Yeah. So, if it started in the metro though, but how did it go from the metro to like?
Well, we were asked to play on a stage.
Yeah,
one night we were just asked.
Approached by someone.
Yeah.
Well, we were doing these like 5 à 7, 6 everything with the divan orange, and we were playing these shows and acoustic shows. But we hadn't played electric yet, and then like a friend of mine called me up, hey, we need this band for the show, and then we just like we're like, okay, we'll do it, and we just plugged both into like one of his amps, and that's been like 3 years ago, and now we have the 6
never
guitars
stopped playing
and the
ever
amps
since
and
the gigs just started coming in.
Yeah,
so.
it just ever since that first show, it's just we almost haven't had to find a gig. It just comes to us, and we just
we're lucky.
3 years. I think we can say we're lucky because in 3 years we worked our asses off, but we didn't have to beg too much.
Okay.
Never.
So most bands start either acoustic, stay acoustic, or start to electric. But like, what was the transition like from acoustic to electric?
On stage?
On stage, it never really was one. We just plugged into an amp. Etienne got sat down in front of a drum set instead of just playing a tambourine on his foot, and we basically kept the same layout ever since. He plays with a bass drum, a hi-hat, and now a snare on the floor with his feet at the same time as playing guitar, and I play guitar, and we both sing. So never really changed. It's just kind of translated itself.
We've perfected
very
the sound.
fast.
We've worked to like hone it and to a point where it pleases us and we're satisfied with the sound. But it pretty much hasn't changed except gotten like heavier or more ballsy. In the 3 years.
Instead of a ukulele, I changed to a tenor guitar instead of Etienne always played a dobro, but now he plays a baritone guitar. So we're going and getting as many bass frequencies as possible to kind of fill in the space of 4 people.
And anyways, we were never really happy playing in the metro. It was too rocks for
really
the metro.
hard.
Like we would like be exhausted after like just 2 hours.
Yeah, and some people make a
$30,
career out of that. You know, they'll play 8 hours a day. It's not really our thing. We prefer the stage.
Yeah.
I know it's not like being 2 people because most bands you said are 4 people. So are there any challenges that come with just being 2?
Actually, no, I don't think so. I mean, except the fact that we gotta.
Like, how do you?
Well, the way we work is we try to have all our bases covered. So we have the percussion. I do sort of like a bass / solo hybrid. So I take care of the bottom frequencies and I do the solos, and she kind of gets right there in the middle and does the rhythm. So it's pretty much like a 4-piece band would work.
Yeah.
You'd have the drums, you'd have the bass, you'd have the rhythm guitar and the lead guitar, and we just kind of split that between us 2. Yeah. So we just kind of multitask.
We trim off all the fat, so our thing is minimalism, right? So it works really well, and it's probably an easier dynamic 2 people versus 4 people. Just because we're more readily available for each other, and
it clicks. It just works the way, like together. I don't know. We just feel each other really well. Like we've played with drummers, but we always go back
to. Do you ever do shows with the more people?
Sometimes we've done a few shows.
Very occasionally, we'll do it with the
drummer. Who would come in for the last like 5 or 6 songs, but we mostly just do just us 2, and it works perfectly.
The energy that we take up the space of a full band, right? So we have to compensate for that in energy and in performance, and we know each other so well now that we just kind of lock, and it's an experience to see us live and to perform live as well. It's always very spontaneous. We never really know what's going to happen.
There's a lot of improv during the.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of I mean, if I screw up, I screw up. It's like if I miss a beat, if I like the thing stops at some point. Like if I can't, since I'm doing everything that's like rhythm section based. If I don't know, if my bass drum pedal like stops working or my snare falls
that
over
would be a
something,
challenge.
then you just
not having
with
four
it. Like
people,
you just kind of
like if we drop something, you hear it, Whereas in a 4-piece band, someone could cover your butt, if something went wrong. But we just go with it, and people bear with it. It's part of the show.
Yeah, and we just
it's
roll
live.
With it. It's live. It's part of the experience. I mean, there's always the fun with live music is something can always go wrong.
Yeah.
And you're just waiting to see if, like, can they keep this going? Can they, or is it just gonna like fall over? Or is it? I don't know. It's I like that being on the edge aspect of it. Just kind of like every show's got a bit of danger to it.
So you guys have, I said, come from playing in the Metro, and now you've played all over Quebec and stuff. Did you start in Montreal at the Metro, and then from there started playing the other regions?
Well, I mean, we're both trained musicians, and like we have, I don't know, 15 years of music playing behind our... so we've done shows before. I mean, I've had other bands before this one. I've had other bands during this band. And so, I mean, we're all musicians who've done a lot of shows before this band. Like, I know you've done... from everything from school to plays to opera,
classical gigs, all kinds of things like that. But yeah, we've been really fortunate with this band. We grew, we kind of mushroomed out from Montreal, but then we've had the opportunity to go very far away, like go to in Abitibi, which is 8 hours north, and we've played there maybe 5 times now, so we have a crowd there. We've basically hit up all the major festivals in Quebec, and last summer we went to the Maritimes as well as the northeast of the United States. So yeah, just kind of...
How did those shows come through? Like you...
Well,
they knew about you, or like because you have...
Well, we kind of decided that we wanted a tour. Okay. I mean, to do a tour, and then we had help from a booker who booked us some dates in Quebec, and we worked on other dates, and like we split the task, and we had friends in the States who helped us book a show, because that's really complicated. Being a DIY band touring the States is a lot of paperwork, a lot of... it's the visas and all the... It's quite difficult. So, but I mean, it was fun, but redoing it, I'd go seek maybe somebody who's more, I don't know, well-versed in the application process.
Yeah, up until now, we've been a pretty much a DIY band with a couple other people helping us on the side. Now we have a team for this next record, so we're really excited about that. But, I mean, word gets around, and... Yeah, like I said, we're very fortunate. We haven't really had to go ask for any shows. They just kind of happen.
And do you feel a difference between playing a show in Montreal and in Quebec? Like what's the difference one? Because it's still in the same province.
It is in the same province, but...
like the far out region.
Like a lot of bands will say that playing in Montreal, it's maybe a bit of a colder crowd, but we don't really notice that. I mean, the people who come to see us, generally outside of Montreal, they're a lot more into it because they don't have access to as much music. But that being said, people in Montreal are always au rendezvous. They're always there to rock out. So
I don't know. I think the difference is maybe the scenes, because in Montreal it's a bigger city.
Shows in Montreal. I've never seen a show outside.
Well, what happens in like other smaller cities is when there's a show, a lot of people go.
It's a bit more
like depending on what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And also, probably we feel it probably more than an audience does. But when you leave the mega centers, Toronto, Montreal, because it's more of an event, the people are a lot more. They work a lot harder for you. Like you arrive and there's like stuff to eat. There's, all kinds of things where we're put up always in very nice accommodations. Sometimes the whole village gets involved, and then, like people are just talking about it online the whole time, and then you get there and it's a really big party because people are really anticipating it.
The word gets around better in smaller cities.
And also it's not necessarily people who would be our fans, that people, I guess, are a bit more receptive to new things outside. Here in Montreal, like, we have a really good fan base, so like the people, they know our songs. they're always ready to go.
Get the word out because you're always in competition with so many other shows every day. There's 25 shows, so I mean you have to fight against all these kind of other people to try to get
a bit more planning around.
But these shows, it's just the word gets around, and people, like, it could be a metal show, people would go there because I guess it's Friday night and their friends are there. It could be a hip hop show, they'll be there. They're just like, whether they like it or not, they'll be there. And then if they like it, then even better. But that's kind of the dynamic between bigger cities and smaller cities. But I would say it's kind of like that for all big cities and kind of all that for small cities. That big cities, you got to fight for the attention more than smaller cities.
Which is not a bad thing.
No,
you have to work. You have to work for it, and we're happy to do that.
So you said for your next record, it's going to be a bit more of like a professional team behind it, less of a do-it-yourself type?
Yeah, well, in terms of like management and booking and promotion. Okay. So that'll be really cool.
For the second record, is it going to be musically different than the first one?
We blew it up a bit. Like we, I mean, since the first record, we taped it live. I mean, we added overdubs and stuff, but I mean, we tape everything live. Everything.
We did the same thing for this
everything
record.
is live basics. But it was like we kind of stayed true to like the two guitars, and we added a bit of bass sometimes, or like organ bass or something. But we kind of stayed true to what it sounded like on stage. And this time around, we pretty much did the same thing, but we layered a bit more. Like we didn't.
It's more orchestrated than the last one.
You know, we have more like different guitar sounds: the baritone guitar and the tenor guitar and the 12-string guitar and the
keyboards.
You're playing
also.
All of
these. Yeah, Etienne is a trained pianist, so he plays the keyboards on the album, and any guitars we did them too, and back vocals I do them all. So it's still all us playing, and it's all on live basic tracks, but we did a bit more of a Beatles trip, if we can permit ourselves to say that. We spent like a year and a half preparing this one.
And it's released
in September.
Okay.
Beginning of September 2016. Cool. Yeah.
In Montreal.
We're gonna do several launches, but the launch is in
September 8th.
September 8th at Deuxluxes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And there's a single this Wednesday. First single this Wednesday.
It's going to premiere on Exclaim. And then on Thursday, it's going to be available for purchase on all the platforms. So we're super psyched about that.
So that's really the upcoming, that's right now, because you guys have been doing less shows as of late.
Yeah, we've been laying a little low for school reasons, for all kinds of things, but finishing up the album especially. We are doing several shows this summer around Quebec. We're doing
festivals again?
Yeah, we're doing the Festival d'été de Québec again. We're doing Woodstock en Beauce. Okay. We're doing Shazam Fest in Sherbrooke. What else are we doing?
Well, I mean, we're around. Quebec City, Saint-Jean-Port-Joli.
We got
Ontario.
A bunch of shows. A little bit of Ontario too.
I mean, not moving as much as we did last summer, but
like every week we'll have like one or two shows, but so we're very happy about that. Still stay in shape.
Yeah, exactly. People will see us.
and then once the record's out,
then we're doing real touring. Yeah.
So where do you see this band in the future, like 3-4 years down the line?
I don't know. I mean, what would be fun would be just travel more with the music. We'd like to go.
We'd love to go. That's probably in the near future. Okay. So in the fall with this new record, we're hoping to go to France and maybe a couple other countries around. But yeah, just basically keep on keeping on, as they say. We'll keep doing what we're doing right now, and just what I hope won't happen is that it'll like explode really fast, because that might be a part of me does want that, but then if you're not like ready for it, or if you don't have time to like prepare for it, that might be a little weird. Okay. But at the same time, that could be fun as well.
Do you feel success has been gradual?
Yeah, it's always been, we've never like taken any steps back. It's always just been
you build
getting bigger. So, I mean, realistically, in 3-4 years, that's probably what's going to happen if the band continues, right? But we never know. Maybe we'll have a hit. I don't know, something like that.
But yeah, I mean, the fun of it, I think, of playing music is traveling, is to see all these places that you would never
to share music. That's our job, is to share, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And just to see these places that like you would never go there on a weekend if you didn't have a show there. Like you would never go like drive 6 hours to just like play a show and come back the next day.
No.
Like, if you didn't, I mean, you wouldn't go to, I don't know, Chicoutimi just for a weekend usually. Okay. But since we have to, we go.
You should get out there.
And you realize that, like, why don't you do this more often? Like, why don't you just like get your car and like?
Because there are so many cool places everywhere, you know.
Yeah, so you already feel like your eyes have been open towards Quebec, so it could be even more.
Well, yeah, I mean, we played when we went to Ontario, or when we went to the Maritimes. We played in like little small towns and villages, and like we played in a place where there was, I don't know, like 600 people living in that town, and it was one of the craziest shows we did, like on a Wednesday night or something. It's just I mean, the you never know. I mean, some shows are like just get really wild. It's quite the experience. You get to see some you get to see the people. You get to see how people live, and how it's kind of fun.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for this. That was very interesting.
Thank you.
And I wish you guys the best with this band.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
Good.